Good morning and welcome back to Y in the Morning on Y254. It's time for Spotlight on Sports. Of course, we seek to keep you posted with the latest in sports, both local and beyond. A lot happened over the weekend, and in studio, of course, my name is Maxwell Wasika. I'm glad to be joined by two people who form an integral part as far as Kenyan sports is concerned. Ronnie Aloy, our resident guest from Kenyan Star, alongside Georges Waka. He's called Georges Washington Waka, a renowned sports commentator with KBC Radio Taifa. Gentlemen, good to have you on board. How have you been?
Good morning, Maxwell.
Ronnie, your weekend?
Fantastic, though. Lots of upsets. All my teams were just a disgrace to watch.
How about you, Georges?
My weekend was okay. The teams that I support, I think they won.
It was fine.
Other than the Kenya Sevens.
Of course, talking about Kenya National Sevens team, their hopes of finishing with a bang during the last leg of HSBC World Sevens series at the London went up in smoke after, of course, they were eliminated during Challenge Trophy semis against Fiji, only managing to collect 5 points and finish on 12th with 63 points, 5 places below than they did last season under Benjamin Aimba, where they managed to finish on 7th spot with 98 points. We had Mwangi Mude over the weekend on Saturday. Of course, he's the chairman of local organizing committee of World and 18 championships slated for Kenya at Kasarani in July. And of course, we engaged him, having been the chairman of Kenya Rugby Union previously. We engaged him on the performance of National Sevens, and he blamed Kenya Rugby Union for the predicament the team is going through, saying that it's a capable squad with a technical bench full of potential which can deliver the global stage, but the Ngongros-based federation officials have not put in place proper structures to steer the team to good performance. Your thoughts?
I think on my side, I just have to start by saying that I think Benjamin Aimba was the right man for this team, despite that his contract was over. He would have been given more time to continue with the team. He had understood all the players, and I think he had good time with the players. That was the reason why last season Kenya had to perform well. But this season, changing the coaches, I think it has led us into a mess.
When Georges Waka is talking about Benjamin Aimba being the right man for the Kenya National Sevens team, of course, during the Safaricom Jazz 2 weekends ago, we met with him and had an exclusive interview with him and engaged him on the capability of one Innocent Namco Simiu to take over from him and replace his mantle. And he said probably Namcos could have gone through his orientation for him to deliver at the global stage. What do you think about it?
Simiu was a surprise choice as coach. There were other high-profile coaches who were being selected and who the federation hoped they would secure. But Innocent was thrown into the deep ends of the fire, and he's not really performed. Critics say that he's a puppet at the Kenya team because the federation is using him not in the right way. You remember Mike Friday was really, he really needed standards to be achieved. He really needed accountability, but Simiu has not been doing that. You've seen he's not worked with an assistant at one point. He's not worked with a strength and conditioning coach at one point, and that has really affected the team. Injuries have gone up. The players, some of the big players like Ouma, Oscar and Sikuta have opted out of the team for various reasons. So, in my opinion, Simiu not the right man for the job. I wouldn't also go for Aimba. I think this country needs a foreign coach. Not that foreign coaches, we worship them, but this country, to move forward, we need a foreign coach.
Kenyans are always impatient when it comes to tacticians in charge of several teams locally, and of course rugby stakeholders in the country in various parts of the nation have pushed for patience from Kenyans so that Innocent Namco Simiu, it will come to a time where he would deliver. Do you think it's high time
I was talking to
Kenyans run short of patience?
I was talking to Richard Omwela, and what he said was that they're not intending to fire Innocent Simiu. So Innocent Simiu is still there to stay. For the next season, I think it's going to be Innocent Simiu. And for that case, I think Kenyans, when you talk of Kenyans being impatient, I think the first thing you have to look at in the first place is that Kenyans, the other year or the other season, Kenya performed very well. Coming this year, Kenya has performed poorly. We must ask ourselves so many questions. Are we going up or are we going down?
And you read from the same script with Ronnie that Kenya deserves a foreign Coach, considering that, overseas tacticians require much money to be paid in terms of allowances, salaries,
Yeah, what was the
and their upkeep as well.
What were the reasons for Mike Friday being fired from the Kenyan team? Look, he has gone to America. What is he doing?
He's doing exceptionally well with yes.
Yeah.
Kenya, you see, Kenya has relied overly on strength and pace, but the game is changing. You need someone who can always bring in new tactics, and that's what Kenyan coaches are lacking. Simiu deserves his credits as a player. He gave Kenya his best, both in sevens and 15s, but on the touchline, very different ballgame. You've seen what Mike Friday has done in the USA, bringing out the best in the players. They're even beating Kenya 45-0 cricket scores. But I think it's time to bring in someone who can bring in different tactics. We no longer can rely on just strength and pace. That time is over.
It is Spotlight on Sports on Y254. It's Y in the morning. My name is Maxwell Wasike. Joining me on the set to dissect about the events happened local and international in terms of sports. Ronnie Aloy, our resident guest from Kenyan Star, alongside Georges Waka, football commentator at KBC Radio Taifa, just giving their perspective with what they think about the national sevens team performance. Of course, finishing fifth at the London Sevens with 63 points overall, 5 places below than they did last year under Benjamin Naimba, where they managed the 7th spot with 98 points. And remember, South Africa, our neighbors or our continental compatriots, are the overall season winners, with Scotland having been crowned champions at the London Sevens. Do you think maybe we should go away and emulate on South Africa, our counterparts?
I think at one point,
in terms of structure,
at one point Kenya and South Africa are at the same level. But South Africans have taken rugby to be a serious game in their country. That's why they are doing very well, more than Kenyans. Kenyans, we are there to play and represent the country, but not looking at the results.
Yeah. Do you concur?
I really don't want to blame Kenya as a country. I think it's the issue of money. South Africa, they put in investments, players are earning good money, they're playing it as a full-time sport, professional. But in Kenya, it's the other way around. Someone has to attend to work and school. So they have to strike a balance, really, because the money that rugby is paying is not enough. So probably at that time, when enough sponsors come in to give the money, then players can be considered professional. But now it's somewhere between being amateur and semi-professional.
But I think it has to start with the management. If the management cannot attract sponsors, then we are done.
It has to start with the management. Remember, we're going to be hosting Richard Omwela, Kenya Rugby Union chairman, one of these fine days, to task him with the responsibility of explaining to us why the performance of the Kenya national sevens team has been quite awful and a little bit disastrous as compared to previous seasons under Benjamin Naimba, Mike Friday. And we're away from local rugby to football. Kenyan Premier League fixtures, of course, several matches were on card over the weekend. Totally 9 matches were played, and the standout fixtures, of course, pitted FC Leopards against Kakamega Homeboys at Mumias Complex, as well as Posta Rangers against Ulinzi Stars. And talking about Posta Rangers against Ulinzi Stars, Stephen Waruru, Kenya Premier League top scorer, proved that he deserved to be included in a 26-man squad by Stanley Okumbi ahead of Harambee Stars friendly fixture against Angola on June 4th at Kenyatta Stadium after scoring and ending 4-match unbeaten run of Posta Rangers. Is Waruru the right man for Harambee Stars up front?
No,
considering his form currently?
I doubt. Waruru has been a seasonal player, and he has been performing very well when it comes to club side. But for the national team, since I think 4 or 5 years ago, he has not been doing well. So to me, I don't think he's the right man for Harambee Stars.
Is Georges trying to insinuate that luck is playing an integral role in Waruru's high-flying form currently?
No, not really luck. As I said here on Friday, I said that Posta's run will be halted by Ulinzi, and indeed it was. When you have a player who's scoring consistently, his morale goes up, and the more he keeps scoring, then the opponent the fear keeps growing in the opponent. So the next person Waruru is facing is always scared. That's the advantage of when you keep scoring. So Ulinzi came into the game very strongly. I said Posta are not conceding goals because they are playing negative football. They want to score first, then they revert to 4-5-1 and play defensive. But when Ulinzi goes up first, it becomes very hard for you to get an equalizer against them. And they are very strong boys, very good on the ball. They have some good players in there, very technical players like Onyango and Waruru. So too bad for posture. I think it's also good for football. When you have one team dominating all that run, then it becomes boring. So Ulinzi did well for me. Waruru is doing well. Give credit to him. Scoring over 7 goals up until this time is commendable, and he's just maybe about 3 goals away from being the top scorer this season, believe you me.
And of course, on Saturday at Mumias Complex in Kakamega County, miseries of FC Leopards continued after Kakamega Homeboys
I'm meeting
inflicted
my
a 1
brother
million
here. I'm meeting my brother here.
loss on Leopards.
After FC Leopards lost to Gor Mahia. And
Yeah.
I remember telling him, anything will happen.
Anything happened.
Anything will happen. This is the first time we are meeting since that derby was
Yeah.
played. And I can assure you, FC Leopards won't perform well this season.
And
Unless
Leopards
they are
have only
going to
managed to
sign,
collect a point from their previous 4 matches, of course,
yeah,
losing
unless they are going
against
to
Gor Mahia
sign
and Sonia as well.
more players, focused players. Look at Gor Mahia. The kind of players they have, the number of players they have, those are guys who are mature, they know how to play, they can sustain that pressure from the field. But look at FC Leopards. How many players? Not to Achanga, that's what I can say. And to contain that pressure for Wanja, since they lost to Gor Mahia, it has been difficult for them to win any match.
I really want to differ with what Georges is saying. Leopards as a team, it's a very good team. And you need to understand when any team is facing Leopards or Gor Mahia, they take it as a must-win game. So when Zoo, Nzoia, Homeboys face Gor Mahia or Leopards, then they must win that game for them. So Leopards needs to work twice as hard as that team. Leopards, again, as a good team, but it's a young team, needs patience, but there is no patience at Leopards. You just need to keep winning. I'd want to exclusively say on this show that Leopards, one, the coach is leaving. He's just 1 game away from leaving. He's decided to take up another challenge. And also they've identified very good players, about 5 players. 2 of those will be signed by the end of this week. Very good internationals, and watch this space. Leopards is coming back.
Exclusively on Y254 during Spotlight on Sports. Ronnie Aloy, a man who forms an integral part as far as FC Leopards is concerned, is an insider. And he says that Stuart Hall, the Briton, is on his way out of the den. It's a reliable source, of course, exclusively on Y254. Away from FC Leopards' tribulations now to Muhoroni Youth Football Club. Of course, they were playing against Zoya Football Club and they lost 3-0, and it was total chaos at the stadium, something that has resulted into Football Kenya Federation to ban the stadium from hosting KPL matches. Of course, it's not the first time the ugly incident is being witnessed at the stadium, of course, previously against Homeboys and against Zukerich as well. What do you think? Is Moses Adagala, the chairman of Moroni Youth Football Club, too big
This is the
for FKF and KPL?
This is not the first time we are talking about Moroni Youth, especially the chairman, Moses Adagala. And I think at one point, he went to an extent of inciting the villagers to even beat up the players that led to Wycliffe Ochomo leaving the club. So to me, I think FKF must take strict decisions on Moses Adagala, because that ground, starting last year or last season, the pitch itself, the environment at that place has been worrying for other teams to go and play there. Almost all the coaches have been complaining. Tukienda Moroni, tunapigwa, tukienda Moroni, mafans wanatupiga. At one point, it was like, if you go to Moroni, they must win that match. It was a must for them to win that match. So, to me, I believe Moses Adagala is not there to build this sport. He's there to spoil the sport itself.
What do you make of Moses Adagala? Of course, remember Moroni Youth FC almost failed to take part in top tier by the virtue that they failed to comply with CAF licensing requirements. And if it were not for the intervention of Sports Disputes Tribunal, they would not be participating in the Kenyan Premier League alongside Sofapaka Football Club. What do you make of?
It's actually interesting because at the start of the season, rather than preparing for the 2017 season, Moroni and this man Adagala spent 3/4 of their time in courts and in the press trying to threaten FKF and find court injunctions here and there. I think it's really sad for football. This game has no time for the likes of Adagala. He's really been beating players, he's really been threatening teams, and he's a man who seems to be too big for the game. His ego seems higher than that of Mount Kilimanjaro, you know. And FKF really needs to delve on such people. If the game wants to move forward, then the likes of Adagala are not part of the components that will move us forward. So really sad day for football last weekend when Nzoia players and fans were beaten. I think it's high time the federation reined in on Nadagala, because you cannot just allow this to continue.
And a week after Nicholas Muyoti, my good friend and former international, of course, featured for FC Leopards as well, took over from James Nandwa's Thika United tactician, they managed to collect a point, which is vital, against 15-time KPL champions Gor Mahia Football Club, and of course the latter banning Moroni Youth Stadium on your screens. Football Kenya Federation through President Nick Mwendwa alongside Vice President Doris Petra, as well as FKF CEO Robert Mudhomi, have written to Moroni Youth Football Club management saying that their stadium is not up to standards to continue hosting KPL matches. Maybe good and relief.
We have taken long, we have really taken long before they decided to take action on that pitch. It has really taken long, because since last season, people have been complaining, coaches have been complaining, teams have been complaining. What has been done? Until now, then the guy will go to court. Then after 3 games, 4 games,
I think as you're aware, Leopards and Gor Mahia do not play in that stadium. They declined, and so I wonder why other teams should be treated differently. If Leopards and Gor Mahia don't play there, then why should Bandari play there? Why should Zoo play there? Last season, Bandari players were beaten. This season is Nzoia. We don't know who's next. So I think the stadium should completely be banned.
When you go there, it's total psychological trauma.
Sure,
before, during, and even after the match.
It's either you lose on the match or outside the match. It's either you're beaten by Moroni on the field or you're beaten by Moroni outside the field. So I think KPL should also be serious and completely ban the stadium.
Anyway, away from that, at Nyayo National Stadium yesterday, Thika United against Gor Mahia, 15-time KPL champions. Godfrey Walusimbi, Uganda International, saving the blushes of Kogalo from an embarrassing loss against, Thika United, under tutelage of one Nicholas Muyoti, who's taken over from James Nando as the team tactician. What do you think?
I think on my side, Thika United has been performing very well when it plays Gor Mahia, and it's something that has been going on since I think 3-4 seasons ago. So to me, Thika United meeting Gor Mahia, that's why even Gor Mahia decided to get a carpet itself, Nyayo Stadium, tuone kama atacheza.
And remember, there was some point at City Stadium, Thika United spoiled the party of Gor Mahia winning.
So it's something that has been happening, and I was not surprised with that match.
As I just said at the start of the show, when any other team faces Gor Mahia or Leopards, they'd rather die on the pitch than lose that game. You see, Thika has been on a terrible run, losing 4-0, 3-0, and it's just been sad for them. But against Gor Mahia, you saw them rise to the party and give Gor Mahia all sorts of trouble. So it's not really that Thika is a good team, but when you face the big boys, then you have to bring your A game to the day. But again, I don't want to really focus on the match too much. There was so much happening off the ball. Muyoti involved in some incidences, reportedly punching a player. Then again, Wellington punching another player. So I've not had KPL release a statement, or either of the clubs release a statement in that regard. These are just some of the sad happenings that are a result of the dark scene that have been given by SuperSport who've left.
After SuperSport KPL television.
Sure, so I think there's so much happening in the dark. KPL need to be serious. You cannot have a match of Gor Mahia Thika's caliber hosting such incidences that were witnessed last Sunday.
Remember, several matches took place over the weekend. Gor Mahia against Thika United, they shared spoils by 1-1. Nakumatt FC won against Chemelil by 2-1. Sony Sugar Football Club beat Western Stima 2-0. Ulinzi Stars, of course, ending 4-match unbeaten run of Posta Rangers by 1-0. Victory cutters of Stephen Waruru, the top scorer of Kenya Premier League currently, and a man who's been included in 26-man provisional squad by Stanley Okumbi, head coach Harambee Stars, head of the Angola Tired, in friendly on June 4th at Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. On Saturday, Kakamega Homeboys beat FC Leopards 1-0. Madara United lost against Tusker by 2-0. Sofapaka Football Club drew against Kariobangi Sharks at the Narok Stadium. Then Zuke Richo beat Bandari 3-2, while Moroni Youth FC suffered a humiliating loss against Nzoia by 3-0. The standings, as it looks like right now, on 18-team low, Gor Mahia at the top of the table, followed by Ulinzi Stars. Of course, Gor Mahia with 26 points. Ulinzi Stars the 24 points. Ask FC with 24 points separated by goal difference. Rangers on 4th with 23 points. Then Kariobangi Sharks 19th. 19 points on 5th spot. Western Stima, Mathare United and Thika United 18, 17 and 16 respectively. Away from that, international football, Arsenal Football Club, which have been known traditional as certified 4th finishers, this time round failed to manage a 4th spot in English Premier League, of course finishing 5th and failing to qualify for UEFA Champions League football for the first time in 21 years since 1996-1997 season. Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger saying that the environment has been quite hostile, thus not favoring their top 4 finish. Your thoughts?
Mfamaji siku zote waache kutapatapa. Sawa. If you would have said that, the team has been performing well, I think ningekubaliana naye. But how has the team been performing? How has Arsenal been performing? The last maybe, I think 12, 14 years. How has it been performing? Has it been performing well? The only trophy they've been winning was FA. So for him to start saying hostile environment, has it been there since then? So to me, Wenger is just a failure. He needs to go and leave Arsenal get another manager.
Do you think it's relief for Arsenal fans for their team to finish 4th so that the managerial board of Arsenal Football Club can go to transfer market and sign high-profile players who can compete effectively?
As you've correctly put it, the last time Arsenal failed to qualify for the top 4 was 21 years ago. And the team that won the Premier League that time was United at 75 points, and Arsenal has finished 5th with 75 points. Yesterday, when the match was done, Arsenal won 3-1. The fans were happy with the result, but not happy with the season. The fans were shouting not Wenger to go, but Stan Kroenke, the majority shareholder, to go. And there has been a talk of Stan Kroenke leaving the club. Early this year, Stan Kroenke, someone approached him, one of the shareholders, to try to sell him the shares, but Stan Kroenke declined. So there has been talk of Stan Kroenke should leave the club because he's not giving enough monies for the club to be able to compete with the big boys. Though Stan Kroenke and Wenger are close friends, he's not likely to let Wenger go. Stan Kroenke himself has not shown any interest to sell his shares. Again, this is not happening for the first time. Sometimes in March 2016, the fans wanted Stan Kroenke to go, but interestingly, he said, I do not buy Arsenal shares to win trophies, something that says a lot about Arsenal's fortunes.
One of my super producers, Mato, telling me to wind up, and in Spanish La Liga, Real Madrid only deserved a draw against Malaga to be crowned La Liga champions after 5-year wait. Of course, their wait being brought to an end after their 2-0 victory against Malaga. Goals from Karim Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo sealed.
It has been a good
their
season
dream
for Real Madrid, having qualified for the finals in the Champions League and actually winning the Spanish La Liga. So to me, it's kudos to Karim Benzema.
Kudos to Karim Benzema.
4 things for Madrid: Ronaldo factor, relentlessness, tactical simplicity, and depth in the squad. Sorry, they've helped them really win the title. A fantastic season. In 59 years, they're likely to win a double by winning the La Liga and the Europe Championship.
Remember, it's been Spotlight on Sports on Y254. Of course, my name is Maxwell Wasike. Joining me, Ronnie Aloyo from Kenyan Stan, George Swaka, football commentator at KBC Radio Taifa. Culmination of European leagues came to an end yesterday. Chelsea Football Club are official English Premier League champions. Juventus, Italian champions. Bayern Munich, Bundesliga champions. Monaco, French League 1 champions. And remember, next Saturday on the touchline, myself and Robert Osoro, touchline special. You can join us via social media platforms, Twitter handle, hashtag touchline Y254, Facebook page as well. Then if you are a diehard supporter of any of the teams that took part in several leagues in Europe, you can come on the show and we discuss about how has it been like, the standout moments, the breathtaking moments in all European leagues. Of course, it's Y254. My name is Maxwell Wasika, and Harry Kane, thumbs up, top scorer with 29 goals, 7 goals in 2 matches. What an achievement. What an achievement. Stay here. Keep tuning to Y254. Enjoy the rest of our viewing and have a fantastic day.